All's not well with consumer confidence in the UK. That highlights public sentiment on the state of the economy. The Consumer Confidence Index dipped further in January amid concerns on the continuing strikes. Though there's been a dip in inflation, soaring food prices ensure concerns on the cost of living remain high. The index numbers highlight woes over the soaring food inflation, rising interest rates and eroded purchasing power. Inflation in the UK began soaring last year amid sharp price rises worldwide due to the disruptions in the supply chain caused by the war in Ukraine. The fallout from Brexit was also a prominent factor. The cost of doing business across a range of sectors has shot up. GfK says the Major Purchase Index, which gauges demand for big-ticket items, also fell sharply. Its decline doesn't bode well because consumer spending is a driving force of the UK economy and future growth. For more on this, we were earlier joined by our correspondent Alex Isaac from London.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we were hopeful when we saw the Boxing Day sales and the footfall had increased on last year, and we were still having some of the fallout from the pandemic, but it hadn't got back to 2019 levels. But now, with the consumer index come out, it looks like people are just not buying, or they can't afford to buy. Now, that's where it is concerning, especially because when there was opportunity to buy things during the Christmas holidays and obviously the Boxing Day sales and onward sales, there was strikes. So people couldn't get into the big towns and cities because they couldn't get there on the trains or the tubes or the buses. So obviously that was a huge issue. And then we had the Royal Mail strike, which meant that people weren't buying so much online because they couldn't get it delivered either, especially in time for that Christmas rush. So people haven't been able to spend the money that they have, but also everything has been going up. Now, it doesn't seem to be that it's going to come down anytime soon. We did see a drop in fuel prices, which was hopeful that we would see an even bigger fall, but the cost of food in our shops hasn't dropped. So there is still this huge cost of living crisis, and then of course we have the bills that we're going to be expecting to pay up to £2,000 to £3,000 on bills up until April, and then there'll be a decision about what will be happening in March when we're having another budget. There has been a lot of chatter from the Bank of England as well that maybe we should be starting to look to cut some taxes now that inflation has dropped slightly, but the government doesn't want to do that. In fact, they have said it would be stupid at this particular time to start cutting taxes when inflation is dipping a little bit, and they need to really be pushing forward for their levelling up schemes to get businesses into the UK, to get people out spending. And obviously we have still having strikes, which people are looking for pay rises, and they're saying, well, if they got pay rises, they may then spend more money and the footfall on the high streets may go up and consumer prices may also benefit. At the moment, we are seeing a slight dip and people are just quite unhappy about how things are moving forward, and the government really does need to put something in progress to show before we get to March and we get to another budget.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.